much.
Well, good morning, everybody. I think we're going to get started here. I'd like to bring to order the April 2nd downtown bid board meeting in this historic location. As you may notice, my CUSAR is absent, so I thought we would hold a trial today since we're here and convict him of not showing up. Okay, our first order of business would be to approve last meeting of March 5th minutes. Does anybody have any comments or questions about them?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nay? Sounds like that motion is approved. So the next order of business on the agenda is the financial report. Adam, can you help us there?
So if you see on your summary, you have $107,259 in the revised budget. Actuals are $7,696.97, with a total encumbrances to date of $13,113. So available $86,449.03.
Does anybody have any questions?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nay? We have a motion to approve, so we'll move forward. Next on the list is the MOA event update request. Do we have someone to present for us today?
Okay. Hello, I promise to be short, and I know that Adam's very disappointed in not bringing PowerPoint, but I did bring a handout. I'm here today actually to talk about a November event for seed spitting, given the weather today. And I just wanted to mainly present an idea that we have at MOA. It's not a proposal yet. I'm hoping to bring this idea forward to the bid to see if this may be something that you're interested in supporting in some way. I've sat through a lot of bid meetings. I've seen you fund different projects and initiatives and even marketing. So I'm not asking for any marketing, but would love for you to consider this event, see what it could do for downtown businesses and as we go forward. So I have this handout at your desk. Women Holidays is an event that we have every November. It takes place the second weekend. It's a 3-day event. And this next year will be our 7th year in a row doing the event. Last year, I feel like we actually really hit our stride. We had 1,700 visitors come to the museum over those 3 days. And they come to see floral designs in the galleries. They
questions or comments?
I think the success of the China Lights thing down in Milwaukee is kind of in the forefront of my mind when I think of something like this. And it's unique, it's fun, and boy, I was down to the China Lights display 2 years, and my jaw was just dropped the entire time. So, you know, I think there's some potential for an event like this, but you know, and these pictures indicate it's more of a grandiose scale and a big thing, which I think would be important if you were trying to make the impact that you're looking for. So I would, you know, I would be on board with encouraging this sort of thing and be interested to see how, if at all, the bid would be interested, or the city in a whole somehow interested in helping pursue this.
And there could be opportunities for different partnerships, or like promoting, you know, businesses to the visitors somehow. Like, there's so many opportunities for us to, you know, present that to visitors. So we just are still in the beginning stages of thinking through this.
I think it's a great idea. I wondered why it took so long to use that building as a screen.
Right.
How do you plan to promote this?
So that's a great question. We already have an advertising budget for Bloom and Holidays for like what we currently do. And we advertise primarily in Milwaukee, in the region through print, digital, social media. We're also planning to apply to the tourism grant that is planned for the fall events. This is great because it's in November, where it's a time that's slower for West Bend and it's slower for the hotels, so I've learned. So it would support people coming to the city during a time that is, you know, slower in advance of the holidays. So if we could apply for that grant for marketing purposes, that would help us get it out even further, on top of our existing budget for the event itself. So we would do, you know, our typical Facebook, radio.
Get in my head.
We go on morning blend and all those things.
Do you have an idea of this, approximately what you're thinking of asking for from it?
I don't. We received a proposal for just some of the operational costs for having the projection up for, you know, 4 or 5 days in the lights, and it was pretty expensive. It's over $10,000. So, and then, you know, if we do anything else, like have a hot chocolate bar outside, or, you know, if there are other things, it just adds up. So, I'm not sure. But I think that there's potential. So, you know, depending on your interest level, maybe I'll look at all our numbers over the next few weeks and see, and have a better sense of how much the full event really will cost us and come back. Of course, we'll also be soliciting sponsors and those things, but, you know, to get this off the ground.
What was the timing for this again?
It's the second weekend in November.
I really like the idea, and I think it might be kind of a neat idea to tie in actually lighting up our downtown for the holidays, with kicking off with that event.
Right, and it was so beautiful, and all the lights, so maybe it's like starts the lights
Yeah,
for the season, you
right.
know, and just keep carrying it through. So maybe there's some cohesion there.
Do we know what day we usually put those lights up?
I know that they're up by the time the parade is happening, right, which is right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, usually the lights come up the week before
Or-
Christmas parade, yeah.
Might be neat to tie
Maybe
that
a
all
little-
together,
yeah,
yeah.
it'd be-
Uh-huh.
a
And
little-
then coincidentally, you know, sitting through the meetings and learning about like the Commons group, I believe that one of their ideas was some sort of lights event. So it just seems like there would be, that gives me a little more rationale to think that there would be an interest from maybe even a younger group that we don't currently reach, at least for the museum. So it makes it even better.
I guess I'd love to see this stay on the agenda as you develop your strategy to promote and how this grows in sponsorship. I'd certainly entertain a presentation to the bid
Okay.
board. We probably have a few dollars here or there that this is a no-brainer for the bid to support.
Great, thank
So-
you. And that's all today I'm really hoping to accomplish, is just to see if this is of interest to the bid and maybe it's something you could potentially help with.
Everybody else agree?
I'm good with that.
Absolutely.
Great, well, thank you, and maybe you'll be back in May. Also, I did drop off some other materials, one of which is the save the date for Art and Chop Fest. I know in a recent meeting, maybe we will go back and talk about encouraging businesses, if they can, to stay open that weekend. We're anticipating a large crowd at the end of July, so we hope that has a great impact on us then. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thanks.
presentation. So the next item on the agenda is sidewalk resolution presentation and recommendation. I believe we had a speaker prepared for today and who's under the weather, so we're hoping to have that person back next meeting, but we can get a briefing from Adam, that would be great.
Thanks, Tony. So Max, our city engineer, he could answer questions a lot better than I can. So, but I'll give you a brief overview so that everybody can think about it for the month and kind of come back. And at the same time, we also have Tony Cable with the Norbert here who can kind of go over why this conversation is coming up, or how it got prompted, and any project that your decision would have an effect on. But what Max needs to do, this resolution that you'll find in your packet, the brick pavers, they stated it provided an advantage to the downtown area because they're attractive, durable, low maintenance, and contribute to the overall historical feel of the downtown area. And the resolution gave the recommendation from the bid board to the council, or for the council to encourage continued use of brick pavers downtown. So Max needs to know if this is something that he should bring to the council, or how the bid board would feel about bringing this to the council to amend the resolution and go forward from there. Tony, if you could, would you mind coming up and letting everybody know what you have going on and how this all plays in?
Well, good morning, thanks for the invite. Appreciate it. Last fall, early winter, management and our company, Norbert Hopper, and we decided that we wanted to install a patio in front of Norbert. There's a mountain, I would say an ocean of space in between the front of our building that we actually currently don't own. It's owned by Jim Sears Walters. We just leased the space. But I have their okay on this. By the way, okay if you like. There's an old planter where an ash tree used to stand in front of Norbert. It's kind of an eyesore. Let's see, the old roots from the tree that was there have lifted the pavers on most of the sides of the planter. Quite frankly, it's a tripping point, and in the winter, it's kind of a pain to shovel snow. Also, they're uneven. We had a cafe license up until last year. Quite frankly, I just got very disappointed that I was having to put tables out there and chairs out there, and they were all tipping and rocking. And I thought, well, why should I pay for a license if we have all these issues with these tables and people complaining all the time? So what I decided to do was go to the landscape architecture firm. I know I've gone to a second one to get a better set of plans. But essentially what I'd like to do is remove a fairly large portion of the pavers in front of the Norbert and actually install concrete patio or concrete surface. I would leave between a 5 and 7 foot area in front of the Norbert for people to walk by, because I don't feel like it's appropriate to ask common citizens or civilians to walk around a place of business. They could actually walk through it, and that would remain the red brick pavers. There's also a few utility spots on there. There's a gas spot. There's a water spot. I wouldn't want those to be infringed upon. So essentially what we're trying to do, essentially what we are going to do is put in concrete patio.
Any coloration, any texture, or just a basic concrete?
If the
brick?
city wants it, we'll do it. Or if you guys want to do it.
Usually it's if you're willing to pay for it, they're better
I'm
for
willing
you.
to pay for it. In fact, I'm willing to flip the bill for this whole thing. So, but I'm not gonna ask my customers to sit on and not even service anymore. Also, I think this has tremendous advantages to the downtown. I don't plan on messing around with this. I installed the patio in the back of the tower. I don't know if anyone here's ever seen it. I don't plan on doing a hokey job with this. This is going to be done to the nines. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be well lit, hopefully electrified. I've already purchased the wrought iron patio set. The tables are stunning. The chairs are. It's going to be, and you're going to be able to see this patio right when you enter the downtown area. Hopefully at night we'll have some string lights up. I think it's going to be extremely welcoming for anyone who's heading downtown. It's going to be beautiful.
Personally, I think that the pavers are a snow removal issue like we talked about. And although there's sound as individual bricks, I don't think they're any more sound than a paved sidewalk would be. And I think if you want to keep that look, you could run those up the side next to the curb and still dress up downtown. And I guess this might be a step in that direction as far as, we've talked on the transportation committee about how are we going to address this when that road gets redone, when Main Street gets redone. And I personally don't have a problem, and I think, it would be a great catalyst for other things happening downtown if we were to do that. I think I personally don't have a problem.
I think it'd be classy, no question about it. I think you've had a missed opportunity for all that additional space for your restaurant. You got a very nice place. It would be one less bed we have to clean out every spring, because it did look a little rough there a few years ago.
Yeah.
But it'd be really nice, and you do everything to the nines, so I'm confident it'll be looking pretty classy. I'd be in favor. Just be curious to know if you do any, or thinking of any texture or color at some point, other than just the gray.
I think, whatever direction the city or the bid decides to go, in the future, that's the route we would go. And if I did just plain concrete, and in 5 or 6 years you guys said rip it out, let's do color, I would do it. I think this design, by the way, just so you know, I have an architecture firm in Wauwatosa who came up under the recommendation of Alderman Mike Christian to have a picture done of all buildings that are next to me and my building, and then they're going to be superimposing a lifelike 3D image of a patio that I'm basically going to arm myself with to take to the city and say, this is what I'm really thinking about doing. Are you sure you guys don't want to do this? Not that they've necessarily said no to it. However, what the city has decided to do, although I guess not technically, but in some discussions, is that they do not want there to be a passway through the patio. I think some of the people of the city have requested that we actually push everything toward the building and people walk around it, and that's not going to be acceptable for us. In the hospitality business, we would never ask anyone to walk out of their way. I certainly wouldn't want anyone who's not enjoying food or drink in my restaurant to walk out of the way of my business. So, in the future, if you guys want to color, we'll do it. If you want to color right away, I'll do it. And I'll even give it texture and it look cool. I know it's probably too early in the game for you guys to decide or know whether or not you want the sidewalk to look a certain way. So I'll do something generic now and I'll rip it out and redo it in 4 or 5 years if you'd like. It's fine.
What's your hope timing?
Well, I mean, we wanted to hit farmers
Wow.
market. And because we are actually opening for Saturday night brunch, we felt like this would be a huge draw for us. But if it takes all year, you know what? In fact, if it takes a couple of years to get this done, we'll do it. I don't see myself going away on this one for any length of time, so I'm more
love the charm of the historic brick pavers downtown, and if there's any way to make it give that old world feel to the patio, I sure would be all for that.
Thank you.
On a side note, when you pull out the pavers, because you've already got your furniture, so it's probably moving along pretty good. My building, a couple buildings south of you, has some missing, and I tried to get some from when I think the river walk was done, but that didn't happen. So I'd like to grab some of those from you. Let's just stay in touch.
I think that there's a lot of areas where we can piece some
Do
bricks
some
in, so if we
filling.
can save those wherever we can. I know on 6th Avenue, the same thing is true, that there's some that are damaged and missing.
Yeah, I guess essentially what I'm doing is just asking for your support today on this. This is, I have a funny suspicion this may be a battle at the city. But,
I mean, I guess that's why I'm feeling like you're here, like there's a regular frustration with the city, so if you're trying to better.
yeah, I'll tell you, in the course of, mostly it was the first year, maybe the first 2 years, we witnessed several times while I was working in front of us. Of course, we're in a fishbowl here, we've got tremendous windows, so we can see the street quite well from inside and over. At least half a dozen times we've seen cars pull up too fast over the curb. One time there was even someone who hit the ashtray that was in the planter. They backed out, and I thought, geez, thank God I didn't have customers out there, you know, any of these times. So the initial plan was to actually put a wrought iron fence up to protect the customers from vehicles that are potentially pulling up. I think it would be, you know, more of a barrier, safety-wise, better confidence for the customers and for the drivers. And I basically just didn't want to put my customers in harm's way. So we went to the city initially with plans to put in a wrought iron fence, but they came back with, no, maybe we don't want the fence up. I've got an email here somewhere. So we had to go back to another architecture firm and say, okay, we have to redesign this. I still believe that I need some kind of fixed fixture of some kind, just as a confidence boost for my guests, knowing that there's no chance of them, you know, obviously there's always a chance. And we've done a ton of investigating too. So we went into the city of Chicago, so I know that's kind of a, I'm not sure what the word is, but essentially what the city of Chicago has written is that they will never ask pedestrians to walk around patios. You have to walk through it, and then it's up to the restaurateur to get the product through the sidewalk to the guests, which are along the street side. It's actually a wonderfully written code, and I printed it all out, but I don't have it with me here today. But I really think that the downtown area should go in that direction. Unfortunately, in Chicago, in Milwaukee, most cities, it's like parallel park, or not parallel, yeah, I guess you would call it parallel parking. It actually runs at the same size as the sidewalk, whereas in those span, people are pulling in like this. So I think it makes it more dangerous for people that don't stop. You know, not to mention, you know, the street curves down, and if people don't hit the brakes fast enough, they can roll down the curb quite easily. So that's the resistance I've seen from the city, is that they don't want a fence. And I just, I guess I'm gonna refuse. I've gotta keep trying along here.
I like what you said, and that was one of my concerns, Tony, about the idea of if we are going to address Main Street in general in the next few years and potentially redesign or look at the different possibilities with Main Street, that I'd hate to see you install something and spend a bunch of time, effort, and money into doing something, and then a few years down the road we say, that was wonderful, now we're ripping it all out because we're doing something different. So I just want that to be part of the conversation, that it's not like all of a sudden you're like, well, what the heck, I just spent all this time, money, and effort into putting this up, and now you want me to rip it out again. Because I do believe that Main Street is going to have some issues addressed in the near future rather than later. I mean, the current layout, the current situation has been around for, over 40 years, and, things change just by the nature of things sometimes. And if that is a conversation that we're going to have, I'd feel awful if you weren't on board with at least knowing that that's a possibility. And maybe it doesn't occur, but just so you're aware of it. And I, also to everybody else here, I've been privy to Tony's plans as the alderman for the downtown district. He did come to me to see what I thought about it. So I have the vision in my head, and I think it's wonderful. The design, the concept, everything really makes a lot of sense to me. I think it would add a huge aesthetic to the downtown area. I think it's well thought out and makes the most sense the way that he has it in his head. So if there's any way that we can support that vision, I would be in favor of that.
Yeah, we must continue to, I really think back the restaurants downtown. I think this is a driving force at this point, and it's not just because I'm in it. I think this patio, with the way it will be lit and handled, and solid umbrellas, nothing cheesy about this. It's going to be done extremely well. Will help drive other. I really am a firm believer in competition. I want more restaurants. I want more bars. I want people to keep having to excel just to keep up with business. I think it's what's essentially going to make the downtown area all the better. So, I mean, we've met with Ron and Sandy across the street at Cove Canyon. Most of you know, or maybe if you don't, I'm a firm believer in all restaurants doing extremely well downtown. I think we're all in this together. I think we'll support each other. Hopefully this will help other restaurants.
Well, you came here for support this morning, and I guess in the spirit of today being a voting day, if we took a poll, it sounds like you got it.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Well, hopefully this is the last year for me, but if not, you can see me.
It'd be nice to have you back as far as an update, just to know where that's at.
Well, if I ever mind building, I'll send out the board, we'll see.
There you go. Thank you. Next agenda item would be the Commons Task Force update. Peggy, you're the chair of that committee. Give us an update of what we accomplished last meeting.
Okay, we decided to stick with our original theme of setting up a grant program. We're all really excited about it. We're actually going to be announcing the groundwork for it and start accepting hopefully some applications as soon as July 1st. Basically, it's just if somebody wants to start their own business, they're looking maybe for some space downtown, we would like to be able to provide a package to this person. So hopefully we get so many applications in that we have to have a large committee meeting and decide which one gets it. But we're hoping to get people excited about this. Of course, that package would include things such as legal advice, financial advice, accounting services, all that kind of stuff, marketing services, and hopefully really help to encourage that individual to excel and succeed in a business downtown. It would also include, holding meetings 4 times a year with this person. It would be for 1 year long, and then we would look for another candidate. So we're obviously still working on fine-tuning it, but we're all very excited, and we think it's a great addition to not just the bid district, and hopefully it's so successful that it grows and moves into a larger area just for the city of West Bend itself.
Just some further comment. One of the original goals of the Commons was to come up with ideas to bring, first, fill office space or available space, not just office or retail, but also to bring traffic, customers, employers. So this concept was to try and tie into all of that. It certainly doesn't grab all the items that came up in the Commons, but it just sounds like MOA is tackling some of that. The Downtown Association is doing some events to do that. So if we all kind of tie that together, it would be great. Still not aware of any other community that does something like this to promote either an existing business to come downtown or a startup, as you well said. to provide all that type of assistance, we're calling it a grant program. We're hoping most professionals or businesses would throw something in the pot or the package to attract this retailer or service business, whatever it is. We do hope to get a lot of response and applications and have a tough decision to make. We agreed that we might go as many as 2 and make it a 1-year term that will provide this assistance and guidance, counsel, idea sharing, all those things. So hopefully that excites someone to transition their business or start a business here. And it also gives us an amazing opportunity to do some PR for our downtown and what we're trying to do to be business friendly and also to create foot traffic. So I'm excited to be on the committee, and we've got a pretty aggressive strategy to start by July 1st and look forward to that. So I thank everybody on the committee that's giving their time.
I have a question, I guess, and maybe either of you could answer this, but has there been any conversation about how to engage the building owners during this process? Because obviously we're working to essentially fill a spot that they would have open. So
Yeah, Adam even talked to some, the idea is that depending on the type of business that we get, because it could vary, whether it be retail or office, that if it were, say, an office space, we would like to perhaps work with maybe a carpenter who would be willing to donate some services to actually build out an office space, say in the Crowd Camp building or another building, the Ozark building, something like that, to kind of encourage the building owner to either donate the space or lease it at a very minimum cost. Again, the idea is to encourage somebody to start rather than immediately say, well, that 10 by 10 is $1,500 a month. So yes, so the idea is to, depending on the style of business that comes in, perhaps work with somebody to help build out, or to at least definitely work with different building owners to try to reduce or complement the rent.
awesome. I think that's part of the key is that hand in hand with the building owners and getting them excited about
Right.
filling their spaces and doing it with some skin in the game a
Right.
little bit.
The thought was to talk to some building owners that we know have current space, and then also talk to some commercial brokers in town that are connected to the community and know what's available. Obviously, the landscape could change by July as people apply. It's almost the chicken before the egg. We'll certainly confirm with people that have existing space, we're going to be doing this, and then when someone applies, if we find the right mix, the right business that has all the right needs, then it only makes sense to approach an owner and building owner and say, hey, this is what we're looking to do. What are you willing to do for the business? So it's kind of one step at a time.
Right. And the final thing and I don't know if you, again, thought about this, I imagine you have in your brainstorming and your conversations, but the idea of having included in this packet some sort of demographic information so that a potential business owner knows what they would be getting into, not that they're bringing a business that may not necessarily do well in a certain demographic, so they're just kind of they might like to take advantage of this situation, but we also don't want to see them fail. So with all this encouragement and all this support, certain businesses may not do so well with certain demographics. So I think it's important to just make them aware of the population density, the age and demographic of the community, and just different events. Farmers market happens on Saturday mornings. Music on Main happens on Thursday nights. This is the sort of amount of traffic that we're getting in this area. Just as kind of a general guideline for what they could expect if they were to start a business in the downtown area.
I think we'll be able to identify that with the application process, kind of determine, obviously this would not be a fit, and maybe we need to advise that person that this might not be a good fit for them, because we do really want it to be a success.
Right,
and let it grow. So maybe the downtown isn't an area for them, but maybe they have something somewhere else. But yeah, I think
Cool.
in that application process, we'll be able to identify who's going to be able to take the best advantage of that program.
Awesome. I just would be concerned that we put all this effort into something, and it's like, every time we do this, that fails, or, and so there's just a vetting process of some sort to make sure that it's a good fit.
I'm pretty impressed with the package we're putting together, and I think any business that takes advantage of it, existing or new, would have a hard time failing unless they just really don't know how to run a business.
Cool, okay.
That you never know. It's kind of like doing an interview.
Sure.
You never know until you really have them on board. But ultimately, I think we're going to do a good job. We've got a good, bright committee of diverse
Right.
people, and I think we'll do that. The city will be a phenomenal resource for providing statistics and data and all those things to encourage them. My hope, again, is with good PR, we'll have ample applicants looking for that opportunity in a booming economy. Why not?
Yeah.
So,
Awesome, I love it.
oh, please.
On a side note of this, we are in the process of working on the ads that we're doing for Milwaukee Magazine that you approved earlier in November. And so this would tie in perfectly. We've been talking to Adam about, what are we going to have available if people call for spaces downtown? And we could even put something in the ad about grant availability. So what is the time frame of when you are planning on having this ready?
July 1 to July 1 is kind of the annual, so we're hoping to develop, we're developing of a brochure or a description of the package for promotion purposes, and we're hoping to actually solicit applications to be able to approve sometime around July and get a business to take advantage of it.
So I think we have it going in June. Right now, June
Perfect.
18th, it's going to be in Milwaukee Magazine. So that would be a huge area that it's going to cover and targeting people that have the means to start a business. So
How much space would be, excuse me, go ahead. How much space is available in the,
I think we have about a quarter of a page ad going in.
that we could maybe dedicate to this particular issue?
Well,
do
it's
you
all
think?
just talking about start your business in downtown West
okay.
Bend. So we have the ad designed. I will get it to your group,
Yeah.
and you guys can, we can still tweak it. We have time to make changes to it before they need it for final press.
Because we did come up with a name of the grant, and my only concern is it's really long, it might take up the whole space. So we'll look for that.
We need a better name, yeah.
Concise is better.
Right now, we're calling Adam for information if they are interested in starting a business, but this would, even entice somebody more.
No, it's awesome, thank you for that. Any other questions or comments? Okay, then we'll move forward to the fifth item on our agenda today, which is the downtown spring cleanup discussion. So I think we're going to turn to Adam for some thoughts and updates.
Yes, just so everybody has it in the back of their minds, the spring cleanup is Monday, May 20th, and it'll operate much like it did in the past. Ashley set up a great program, and then I came in and learned the difference between annuals and perennials, and then Julie said, I'll teach you about flowers, and then she did this packet, and it is really great, and this is going out to all the businesses downtown and other nonprofits. It's got all the flowers that are available, perennials at a reduced cost, annuals free like they were last year at a limited, or at a, up to a certain amount, and then within that also everybody can find where they can be. It starts at 7 a.m. We set a rain date for Tuesday, May 21st, keeping in mind that it was pouring last year, and
We did it.
so it's more of a tornado date in case something like that happens. And then we can bring it up again next month, let everybody know again, reminder, and go through the process step by step, but just wanted to get it on everyone's minds in March. Or,
So
no,
far,
it
the
is April.
ratio of public to private has been favoring the public support of the city, so that's been fantastic. Love to see some more property owners and business owners show up for that. It's a great morning, and even with the rain the last time, we just had a great time, and it just felt good, helping our community look a lot cleaner and nicer, as we all get our hands a little bit dirty once in a while for us guys that sit at a desk most of the day. So that would be great to get your involvement. As far as the package you put together, as soon as it was on my desk in the morning, I thought, this is classy. It just looks really nice. So I think for folks not to take advantage of it would be a shame. We've made it so easy working with Roots and Branches and to be inspired to make your front of your business look nice. So thanks for everybody's effort on that.
Can you explain that a little bit more, Tony? So if I'm a business owner, a building owner downtown, I see my order sheet here, and I am in charge of potentially designing and deciding which plantings are gonna go in front of my
That,
area?
or you can even have a consultant, I believe, come in from Roots and Branches and give you a kind of an idea if you're really unfamiliar with plantings. They know plantings. I remember the first year we did this, Shirley was phenomenal at running around and saying, no, put this here, put this here. So I think you take advantage of that, even if you have a green thumb. Have them come out and give you an idea of what would look nice to tie into the rest, because they know what they're doing elsewhere in the beds that they are taking care of. And then from there, fill out your order form and do the plantings. That morning, everything's sitting there for you to pick up and take, and many times we even delivered it to a number of the businesses. So it's as easy as it possibly can be.
And then Roots and Branches takes kind of charge of it once it's in the ground. They care for it throughout the summer?
It's a great question, good point. The building, or the person that owns the building really has responsibility for maintaining the green space. In fact, I think there is an ordinance regarding that. You want to comment on that at all? Want the proper warning there?
You have to find the.
I don't have it in my head either, but bottom line is, if you own a building, right up to the curb, take care of
Yep.
what it looks like. If we spend the time putting in the bark and the plant material, we're talking about watering and weeding. It's pretty simple. In fact, we've now even grown, I think, our landscape contract to taking care of significant weed growth and things like that. I mean, I personally just sponsor a bunch of the south end for myself, so I think everyone can pitch in a little bit if all you got to do is take care of the front of your building. For most people, it's maybe a planter or so. After we finish, it looks great. So unless we have normal rain, it just takes a little bit of that, and pulling a weed once in a while, that's not a lot of maintenance. The sidewalks are now taken care of as far as weeds and things. I think it's a pretty easy thing to do. Any other comments or questions about that? Look forward to a great turnout. So the next would be any agenda items for the next meeting. Hope to maybe hear more about what's happening with MOA. And Tony, you're welcome back anytime. Hors d'oeuvres in the morning work good for me too. That's prep for the day anyway. So any other agenda items for the next meeting that anyone wants to bring? Then maybe looking for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor?
All right.
Any nays? No.